she's a great player. She's a high IQ player. She adjusted really quickly to this league. Unbelievably quick to this league. And now it's about becoming not just a great player, but becoming a great leader for this team so that we can win not just a championship, but championships. And what does that look like? And for me too, just...
Stephanie White, head coach of the Indiana Fever, just hit Sheryl Swoopes very hard for what she said about Caitlyn Clark. White isn't just supporting Clark. She's making the picture for the Fever's future crystal clear. You bet Stephanie White isn't here to mess around. Not long ago, Sheryl Swoopes said some iffy things about Caitlyn Clark.
Caitlyn, I think, for me with Caitlyn, I think it's going to depend on how she can get her teammates to play with her. You know what I mean? Because at Iowa, she did everything. However many shots you want to take, whatever you want to do with the ball, you can do. It's just a different ball game. And you have some players like Aaliyah Boston and Alyssa Smith, a Kelsey Mitchell, like they got to have a rock.
Those words weren't really about giving constructive criticism and more about putting down one of the WNBA's biggest stars.
And last but not least is, of course, Caitlyn Clark, who just led the Indiana Fever to an above 500 record for the first time in 5 years.
Stephanie White walked in and wouldn't have any of it. In a recent interview, White didn't just defend Clark, she doubled down on her value to the Fever and the league as a whole. And let's be real, she's totally right. Stephanie White has always been known for her no-nonsense style, both as a player and a coach.
Is that I surround myself with people whose strengths are my weaknesses. I want to continue to learn from them. I want them to find their voice. I want them to go on and become great head coaches if that's what they want to do.
When Swoopes threw shade, White didn't shy away from the attention. Instead, she made it clear that Caitlyn Clark isn't just a key player. She's the future of the WNBA. And honestly, White's energy is exactly what the Fever needs right now. White pointed out that Clark's rookie season wasn't just impressive, it was transformative. She didn't just help the Fever win games. She brought energy, ticket sales, and a renewed sense of purpose to a team that was, let's face it, struggling before her arrival. As for Caitlyn Clark, this isn't just about numbers. Although let's be real, her stats are ridiculous. Clark averaged over 20 points per game in her rookie season, along with 8 assists and 5 boards. She's not just a scorer, she's a playmaker, a leader, and the kind of player who makes everyone around her better.
For the 7th seed in the playoffs or what have you, we'll see what happens with that. But Angel Reese is no longer a Rookie of the Year potential winner. That's over. It's going to Caitlyn Clark. Let's get that out the way. Did you know that Caitlyn Clark is also in the conversation for league MVP? Did you know? I tried to tell y'all. You understand what I'm saying? We got the babyface assassin in men's basketball with Steph Curry. They might say that about her before all is said and done because she pulls up from the parking lot as well.
But it's not just her on-court ability that makes her special. Clark has an it factor, a charisma and swagger that draws people to the game.
Of that run to the finals before the Liberty fell to the Aces in 4 games. Clark connects on a 3.
Caitlyn Clark here gets the switch on the screen, smaller. Just for that reason, they're too deadly from behind the arc.
An 11-0 run for New York. Clark, she got another.
She's relatable, she's inspiring, and she's unapologetically bold. For a team like the Fever, which is building from the ground up, Clark is everything you'd want in a brand cornerstone.
Be that easy.
But Sheryl Swoopes' words didn't just come across as harsh. They felt unnecessary. Why go after a young player who's done nothing but raise the league? Sure, everyone's allowed their opinion, but there's a fine line between critique and negativity. And let's just say, Swoopes crossed it.
But one thing that's undeniable is that she seems to get offended with her objectivity being questioned, her professional objectivity. The problem is, she's the one that brought her professional objectivity into focus by her own behavior. What possible excuse could you have?
It almost feels like Swoopes is clinging to an outdated mindset, where younger players have to prove themselves in ways that are frankly irrelevant in today's game. Clark's effect speaks for itself. She doesn't need validation from anyone, least of all from critics who seem more focused on the past than the future.
Tremendous move, and we are tied right now. Clark to Samuelson, and there is, believe it or not, folks, the biggest lead of the game. Here's Clark with it. Bentley inside against the taller Mercedes Russell and still gets it to go.
Here's just 1 of 5. How about that? Bentley running the floor there. And the find there from Clark. Is it underrated?
Stephanie White sticking up for Clark isn't just about one player. It's about setting the tone for the Fever's culture. White is giving a clear message. This team supports its players, and they're not going to tolerate unwarranted negativity. This kind of leadership is important for a franchise trying to establish itself as a contender. By defending Clark, White isn't just protecting her star player. She's showing the entire team and the league that the Fever are united and focused on the future. So, what does the future hold for the Indiana Fever? If Stephanie White has her way, it's nothing short of a title.
And then I called a lot of her games in college when she was at Iowa. And so I've really watched her continue to learn and grow, and I have great relationships with her college coaches and had multiple conversations with them throughout the course of her career about what the next steps would be, right? And what the next level would be. And she's hungry to grow and hungry to get better. And so number one, again, that two-way communication. It's been a long time since I've played. So players that are on the floor, they know, right? Like they get a sense, they get a feel of what's working, what's not. My first conversation with her about X's and O's the other day, I was just like, okay, well, how do you want to improve? Like, what are some of the things that you want to improve on? And then we'll talk about how we want to do that. And then I talked to her about how I think we can use her to help her be more efficient, help her be more effective, to help our team be better in general. She's a great player.
With Caitlyn Clark as the centerpiece, the Fever have the ability to build something truly special. Clark isn't just a scorer, she's a link. Her ability to create plays and elevate her teammates is what makes her so important. Pair that with a strong supporting group, and the Fever could be looking at a deep playoff run next season. And let's not forget, this team is still young. The sky's the limit. If the Fever are serious about winning a title, Caitlyn Clark is their ticket. She's already proven she can handle pressure, adapt to the pro game, and deliver in big times. But beyond that, she's a culture setter. Clark's work ethic, guidance, and competitive spirit are contagious, and they're exactly what this team needs to reach the next level.
To open up the second quarter, and Clark doing it with some defense. Comes up with the block, and then Lexi Hull finds her. Fever back within 4. Ball is trying to clear 8. Shot clock down to 9. Here as Clark gets inside, the scoop shot falls. Indiana scoring, has done it from the three-point line, has gotten to the rim, and she'll head to the foul line here momentarily.
You're taking on that.
This is the closest the Fever have been since early second quarter. Indiana's battle back within 3. Dangerous pass. It's Clark who's off to the races, and Caitlyn Clark pulls.
Sheryl Swoopes, you're a star. But let's be honest, you just airballed a take so badly. The shot clock ended twice while we waited for you to make a point. Instead of praising the rising star that is Caitlyn Clark, you chose to throw out some hot takes that weren't just cold. They were straight up frozen. And for what? To make yourself look relevant? Spoiler alert, it failed. Let me paint the picture for you. Imagine being a Hall of Famer and choosing to aim your criticism at a rookie who has done nothing but elevate the game. It's like Shaq clowning on a kid at a YMCA pickup game. It's pointless, it's awkward, and frankly, it's beneath you.
Had an open look from 3, didn't take it. Only 3 to shoot. Gonna have to make something happen. Clark through the lane, reverses it in, and beats the shot clock.
Like Caitlyn had an opportunity to take the shot, instead drives in, and good job here after the travel to turn her back and shoulder.
Had Mitchell right there, did not see her. Mitchell was wide open on the wing. Here's Smith, the floater is good off the dime from Clark.
It's not like Caitlyn Clark is some run-of-the-mill rookie. She's pulling up from the parking lot, draining threes like she's Steph Curry's long-lost sibling, and making no-look passes that make Magic Johnson happy. She's not just a player, she's a showstopper. So, Cheryl, when you chose to come for her, did you think we wouldn't notice how ridiculous you sounded? Criticizing Caitlyn Clark is like saying that Michael Jordan scored too much. It's not just wrong, it's downright nonsensical. Now, let's analyze what went down. Without giving Swoopes' exact words too much airtime, because honestly, they don't deserve it, She basically suggested that Caitlyn Clark is overhyped and doesn't deserve all the praise she's getting. Really, Cheryl? You're acting like Clark isn't out here rewriting the rookie record books and selling out halls like she's a rock star on tour. You're upset about the hype? That's like being mad at LeBron for having too many highlights.
I don't think that any one of us can really probably understand, what she goes through on a daily basis. She carries a heavy load, right? With our league and with her abilities, certainly. But where we are from this tipping point in the WNBA and from popularity, that she's like Taylor Swift 2.0. And so just being someone.
You don't stop the hype train, Cheryl. You either hop on or get left at the stop. The WNBA is growing, and Caitlyn Clark is one of the biggest reasons why. Instead of being salty, maybe take a moment to enjoy how Clark is carrying the league to new heights. You're out here acting like Clark hasn't earned her place, but newsflash, she's out here pulling rookie numbers that would make you jealous back in the day. And the people love her.
I've never seen in the NBA a player that can throw the ball ahead on the break better than her. Or him, anyone. I had Isaiah, I had Hall of Fame point guard. Never anyone better than her. I also think that, like a lot of my great point guards, Hall of Famers, she could play off the ball so well because she knows how to move without the ball, and it wouldn't tire her out.
She's filling seats, selling outfits, and giving us buzzer-beater moments for the highlight reels. What more do you want? And let's not forget the fans, because they're the real MVPs in this argument. Caitlyn Clark has the kind of charm and skill that draws people to the game. You know what doesn't draw people? Petty negativity from former players. Clark isn't just a player, she's a cause. When she steps on the court, people show up.
This is my daughter. Nice to meet you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care.
And while you're busy whining, Cheryl, she's out here growing the league and inspiring the next generation of ballers. Let's be real, Cheryl. Your words didn't hurt Caitlyn Clark, they hurt you. While Clark is out there letting her game do the talking, you're out here trying to play defense on a player who doesn't even need to recognize you. Also, guess what? You're fouling out in the court of public opinion.
So for people to come at me and say that I made those comments because I'm a racist, like, first of all, black people can't be racist, but like, that's the farthest thing from my mind. Like, I grew up in a very small West Texas town, predominantly white. My best childhood friend is white, went to predominantly white. College, won a national championship. Pretty much everyone on the team was white. Like, we're sisters to this day. Like that's not a part of my DNA. I have no issues with Caitlyn. Her breaking the record, I think obviously is a tremendous accomplishment. But I think what Caitlyn has done for not just college basketball, but for women's basketball, period, I think has been great. The following, people watching the game, sellouts that we haven't seen ever.
You could have been the wise veteran who uplifted the next generation, but instead, you chose to sound like someone who's bitter that the attention isn't on them anymore. Hate to break it to you, but that's not how you protect your legacy. So, why is everyone so excited about Caitlyn Clark? It's not just the numbers, although those are insane. It's the way she plays the game, with confidence, swagger, and a love for basketball that's inspiring. She's the kind of player who makes you believe anything is possible when the ball is in her hands.
That is a great...
At the line for two.
Watch the range right here, Jonesy. We're coming off the screen. Allen goes under.
And one other thing, if Caitlyn Clark gets going, she's one of the few players that has the ability to turn your own building against you. Griner has it come off. Clark with the pull. Boston with a nice rim run. Christine, a little bit earlier, I asked Diana, what was your playing weight at UConn? She said 180. I said, what's your playing weight now? She said 155.
Well, there were
25 pounds.
Few factors in.
And Cheryl, that's what you're missing. Instead of tearing her down, maybe take a moment to respect how she's changing the game for the better. She's a gift to the league, And honestly, you should be grateful you're around to watch it. In the end, this whole story isn't about Caitlyn Clark. It's about you, Cheryl. You had a chance to show respect, wisdom, and support for a player who's lifting the league to new heights. Instead, you chose to throw shade. And now you're left looking, well, let's just say less than amazing. Caitlyn Clark isn't your competition, Cheryl. She's your legacy's best hope. Guys, don't forget to like, follow, and hit that notification bell for more hot takes and basketball drama. See you next time.